What's going on, y'all? Welcome. Happy New Year. We're back once again with the Franchise Players Podcast. This is episode 5. And as always, I'm joined by my co host, Durrel.
Hey, how's it going, franchise players podcast listeners? Welcome back. Happy New Year's. We're about to have an amazing 2024. Let's get it.
Absolutely. And we got the newest member of the Franchise Players Podcast family, my boy Kofi. Say what up to the people, man.
What's going on? I'm excited to be here. Let's get to it.
Yes, sir. Perfect. So, fellas, first things first, right? The first trade of the new year, the first trade of I think the NBA season in general. We got Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett traded for OG Anunoby, Masai's precious player, man. He doesn't get rid of any of his players without trying to get the most out of him, man. The first domino has fallen in the Raptors trade saga, the Raptors retooling saga, however you want to call it. Also, OG Anunoby, Precious Achua, and Malachi Flynn were sent over to the Knicks. So, guys, let's talk a little bit about this trade, winners and losers. Go ahead and fill me in, guys.
Well, to be honest, I don't believe there are any losers when it comes to first and foremost when it comes to one of the best defenders in the league in OG Anunoby, as well as two promising young talent. I believe that both teams definitely won this trade because both teams got exactly what they wanted and what they currently need, right? So especially let's start off with the New York Knicks. So obviously they got OG to fit in with fit in with their current starters right now. Obviously, with the Knicks, they have a ton of moves that is currently brewing. Right, so I think OG was the first domino piece to fall. Obviously, when it comes to the Knicks, they have a ton of draft picks. Right, they have a ton of draft picks as well as they have a ton of assets that they can use uh, to uh, uh, to make an offer for a promising star or even a star right now, right?
Right.
As well as the Raptors, right? So if you kind of look at where the Raptors are currently at, they're currently in no man's land. So the best thing for them to do is like, hey, we have a ton of young talent, future All Stars, and or a current All NBA player in Pascal Siakam, as well as they need to build around OG. They need to build around Scotty, right? So they had to do something because we were in the middle of no man's land. We need to get some assets to start building around Scotty. So in terms of us receiving, the Raptors receiving both RJ and Emmanuel quickly, I think that's exactly what the Raptors needed in this moment, right? So in terms of the offense, right, for the Raptors, it's so much more fluid. With quickly running the point as well as RJ being more of a fluid mover offensively, right?
Right.
Obviously when it comes defensively, Raptors definitely took a step back. Obviously because OG is he's an elite defender, right? But with that being said, we still have some promising defenders on the team. A guy like Scotty, Pascal,
Mm-hmm.
RJ has
Mm-hmm.
been showing me some things. Even though last night he was getting beat off ball. Even Jakob Portal, he has looked extremely promising within the last couple of games, right?
For sure.
So I definitely believe that obviously with this trade, it's one of the pieces Raptors needed to take that next step into the new age. And for the New York Knicks, this is the first domino piece that fell for them, right? Obviously, New York, who knows who they're going after. All right, so initially they were eyeing Donovan Mitchell, but then obviously that did not happen. He ended up signing with um, um, the Cleveland Cavaliers. So there have been a whole lot of talks pertaining to like Joel Embiid, Zach Levine, as well
Mm.
as a dude from Atlanta.
Oh, DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray, right? So there's a whole lot of moves that New York currently have under the table that still need to get on. So I think both teams won. Both teams won. I think it's the starting point for both of these organizations here.
Yeah, absolutely. Kofi, talk to me, bro. How do you feel about this trade?
Oh, you hit it right on the nail, Durrell. Like, I feel like both teams absolutely won. When you look at the New York Knicks, they really needed about two-way player that's really good at 3D. And OG fit that spot,
Mm-hmm.
hit that type of player spot on.
Mm-hmm.
So the Knicks making that trade, on paper, may have seemed that RJ and quickly leaving may have been a lot, but I feel like it wasn't, especially since OG was the best player in that trade by far, for sure. And then for the Raptors, getting quickly, well, he's an up and comer. Like he's already shown what he can do, and it's only been like what 2-3 games. He's already shown he could do. He could be that starter for the team. He's played phenomenal. He's had a 26-point game already. Um, and then RJ Barrett, you know what he can do offensively. He's already shown he can play offense. Man, the Raps I think made a great call in that trade. As long as we get that one more piece, I think we'll be fine.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with both of you guys. I think it's a win-win situation. I mean, back to what Kofi you were saying about how the New York Knicks needed that 3-and-D wing player that they've been sorely missing. And yeah, they're gonna miss the likes of RJ Barrett, who's still a young player with potential. Same with Emmanuel Quickly, one of the best scoring guards off of the bench in the league. But when you look at the fit and how New York is trying to vault themselves into further contention with the rest of these juggernauts in the East, like the Philly, the Milwaukee, Boston of the world, they needed to make this trade, right? So it does hurt them in some facets, but at the same time, you need to make this trade. And now, like you said, Durrel, it's just lining them up now to, what's the next big trade? Like, is it gonna be Mitchell? Is it gonna be DeJounte Murray? Like, they need another star alongside Brunson and Randall to ultimately be able to get the job done, because right now that's not enough. Like a core, like a 1-2 punch of Brunson and Randall, I'm not believing in that personally.
100%.
And then when you look at things from the Raptors side, this was the first thing that needed to happen. We need to vault into a new era, right? Like I think Durrell, you said that too, right? We need to get into a new era. That's literally what it is. Like we had too many players who were 6'8", couldn't score,
Jam.
could defend, like maybe were good individuals
Mhm.
defenders, but weren't like team defenders. So something needed to change. Like we need to bolster our shooting, we need to bolster our guard depth, and we did both of those in one move. We got Quickly from the Knicks, who has a ton of potential, and I think could make like a Maxi-esque type of leap. That might be reaching a little bit, but he's going to improve substantially now that the opportunity is presented to him. And then when you look at RJ Barrett, I'm seeing a general consensus online of RJ Barrett being some sort of like not a good player. Like people are like, oh, he's trash, and he's super inefficient, which is true. He's not trash. He is super inefficient, but he's also 23 years old. And if you look at the trajectory of the Raptors player development, Pascal Siakam didn't get better until later in his career. Norman Powell didn't get better until later in his career. Like scoring jumped, percentages jumped, basketball IQ, became a more natural aspect of these different players' games. So there's definitely a ton of potential where you bring home a 23-year-old who literally you're bringing home the Canadian kid, the Canadian player, one of the top Canadian players in the league. Love or hate RJ, that's what he is. And I think it's just super substantial to have him in a Raptors uniform. And I think he's gonna have that extra chip on his shoulder to be like, all right, now I'm at home, I'm in front of the fans. Now I feel a little more calm. Let me really put my game together here with the Raptors. I'm only 23 years old, and then just let the rest flourish. So I really like this trade, honestly, for both sides. It's definitely a win-win.
Yeah. So obviously, those rumblings about RJ Barrett, come on, that's some bull. You know what I mean?
It's silly, bro. It's silly.
First and
Yeah.
foremost, when a rookie is getting drafted to a big name market like a Philly or New York or LA, whatsoever, they're expecting that rookie, especially if that rookie is drafted in the lottery, they're expecting that rookie to be the next coming of LeBron James, the next coming of Michael Jordan. But like when the players that young, they need time to develop to the player that they are. LeBron James is one. LeBron James, he's a generational player, all time great. So him getting into the league and and um and producing at the rate that he was producing, not every single freaking lottery player is going to come into the league and perform that way. All right, so
Absolutely, man.
it was very unfortunate that RJ Barrett got thrust into a situation as he did, because it did not give him the time to truly develop as he should. I believe that him getting traded to the Raptors is exactly what he needed for his career to take that next step. Right. So obviously um when players get drafted into situations like that, their growth is stunted, right?
Yeah.
Mentally as well as physically, their growth gets stunted, and that's terrible. So I look at Porzingis, right? So Porzingis, I believe if he was also drafted into a different situation, he would have been 10 times the player than he is right now, bearing injuries, right? Obviously, look at Zion Williamson. If Zion Williamson was drafted by a team like LA, New York Knicks, Boston, they're especially him getting injured and so on and so forth, that is not happening. He would have been gone long time ago, right? So RJ, I think this right here is exactly what he needed. Even last night, there was a beautiful play that I saw that I never really saw when I watched RJ when he played for New York. So he had the post, so he had the ball, sorry, on the left wing, and he did a cross court pass to Scotty Barnes on the on the right wing. Dude, beautiful pass. He was able to he was able to read the defense and know he knew that he was generating so much attention, and then he noticed that Scotty Barnes was completely open in the right wing. Swung the ball over to Scotty. Scotty drained the tray ball. So those little things I'm starting to see in his game that are that is going to take his game to that next level, right? As well as Emmanuel quickly, he still has that joy when he's playing when he's playing. So
Mm.
that's something that the Raptors haven't had since 2019, right? And also those pull-up tray balls that he has in his game. I can't remember the last time I saw that. Maybe Kyle Lowry era,
Oh my
and
goodness,
that
bro.
just, especially when the team is down, especially when you're down by like 10 points, 13 points, and so on and so forth. Those pull-up tray balls, those are all momentum shifters. So it's kind of, especially with his game. His game is like, bro, it is very similar to Tyrese Maxey. I know this is a comparison everyone is saying quickly. Maxey, dude, their game is completely it's completely similar.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, definitely is. You know what? Like, what you're saying, Durrell, about those pull up threes. I didn't realize that. Well, I did realize actually, but I didn't quite understand fully, maybe if that makes sense, what we were missing, even just by having Emmanuel quickly come in and shoot the ball like at even 35%. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? What he's been averaging over these
Dude,
last
it's
few
crazy.
games, because it's been so bad for the last year and a half. We have not had any shooters,
None,
and just to have that extra scoring option,
dude.
that extra scoring option, it's so much better. Like, the offense is so much more fluid. They have to respect him. The rotations are slower from other teams, and therefore some of the other Raptors have an open opportunity to score. And it's just, man, it's been crazy. So I 100% agree with you there.
And then for the New York Knicks as well, when they had RJ Barrett, those corner tray balls that OG is hitting now at such a high efficient rate, that's something that they have been missing, right? So when you have a
Ooh,
guy like Bronson driving into the paint, collapsing the defense, guess what? Now he has a 44% corner knockdown shooter waiting for that ball in OG, right?
yeah, yeah.
Same thing with um, Julius Randle, right? So now teams cannot double him when he's driving to the paint, because now he has OG, who's a knockdown shooter, 44% shooter, just sitting on the corner. And that's something that they have been missing, right? Obviously, both teams, they got exactly what they needed, right? As well as I believe it was like the first game New York played after the trade against Minnesota. You can see the
Hmm.
versatility of OG being able to guard um, and one play guarding Ant, and then the next play guarding Cat, and locking both players down. And that is something beautiful to see, right? So both teams got exactly what they needed, and obviously they. I'm happy that they were able to snag Precious, because he was atrocious in my
Yeah,
mind. Like
yeah, he definitely was shaky.
like
Like, he would put on stretches of
in terms
games
of
where
the
he was
aspect,
good.
yeah, in terms of the aspect,
Yeah,
that's the one L
yeah.
that New York took.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I won't completely give up on Precious, let's say, but yeah, he did have stretches of games
Yeah.
where he looked like he was turning it around. You know what I mean? And us Raptors fans, we were super optimistic about that. But then, for the next 2-3 weeks, he would go back to the same kind of low basketball IQ plays, not hitting his shots. Yeah, so
But the
yeah,
things
honestly,
with Toronto, we have patience for guys like Precious, right?
right,
A,
right,
a team
Sure.
like New York, they don't have patience. They are on that win now trajectory. So a
that's
guy
it.
like Precious,
That's exactly it.
he's not going to be getting any damn near playtime, especially when he gets on the court making some bonehead plays. New York,
Absolutely, yeah, yeah,
that's not going to
for
fly.
sure.
That's not going to fly.
Yeah, definitely. No, absolutely, absolutely. So let's jump into another team in the East who's been doing very, very well. We have the Philadelphia 76ers.
Mm-hmm.
Joel Embiid, as of last night, logged his 15th straight 30-point double-double. And
Yep.
he's the first person to do that in a season since Kareem in 1971. So my question to you guys is do you believe he's the MVP favorite for this season?
100%. Based off the way the season has transpired, absolutely. I don't even think he's had a 20-point game since November, which is insanity.
Beautiful.
It's insanity. If you look at his stats, all of them are higher than last year. I think the only thing that's gone lower was turnovers, but it's like by 0.1, 0.2. His assist has gone up, which that was the biggest shocker. Last year he averaged like 4 point something assists. This year he's averaged 6 assists.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And his rebounds have gone up. His points, he's averaging 2 extra points this year. I think it's a non-debate at this point because when he plays, nobody's guarding him. He's unguardable. He has a bad game, he scores 20 points on you. And his last bad game was in like November. Like he's
super dominant.
In my opinion, the most dominant big man right now. I know Jokic is amazing. He's phenomenal. He's done his 4 games, 39 for 44. I understand that, but man, when it comes to that one individual player on just being able to score whenever he wants and improving from last year, it's hard to argue against that.
Yeah, absolutely is. Durrel, talk to me.
Yeah, when it comes to Embiid, I think the one thing that really unlocked him this season, obviously last season he was amazing. Obviously he won the MVP last season, but I think this season his playmaking is what giving him just opening up the floor for him, right? So as you can see this year, he's averaging more assists, as well as one thing we that doesn't get talked about enough about Embiid's game is his IQ, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So being able to draw fouls, like you hear all this freaking commoners or these casuals saying he's a foul baiter. No, dude, when you are an all-time great scorer, you are going to get fouled. You know exactly what, if you can read defenses and you're a step ahead of the defense, you will be able to draw fouls because you know exactly what moves you need to do to get the defense to bite. And especially when you pump fake and the defense jumps into you, that's the defense. That's not the offensive player. That just goes to show how smart he is, right?
Yeah.
So obviously him averaging approximately, I believe it was like 18 free throws a game. Dude, that's on the defense. Defense just needs to do better, as well as physically. Bro, he's 7 feet tall, damn near 280 pounds. Like, he's a physical specimen. And first of all, his footwork. There's only a few big men in the league that can move their feet as well and as swiftly as Embiid, right? As well as his touch around the rim. He has amazing touch around the rim, and his mid range game is beautiful, right? So everything about Embiid's game is just it's just so beautiful to watch, and so far within the last month, to your point, Kofi, I think he's had about only 5 games under 30 points since November. Under 30 points since November, right? And that is ridiculous. So my guy has been averaging damn near almost like 35, 36 points. I would say within the last 2 months, essentially averaging as more points than minutes played. That is preposterous. I've never seen anything like that during my lifetime. I believe the last time that happened was like during the Jordan era. Right, so the fact that he's averaging more points than minutes played, averaging career high in assists, and also having a guy like Tyrese Maxey who's also taken that step this year. Right, Tyrese Maxey with his speed and also with his court spacing ability, it just creates so much more room for Embiid to just operate. Right.
Absolutely. Yep.
And also, once again, that trade, getting rid of Harden, And also with the addition of Nick Nurse. So, and also, if you can see with Nick Nurse, he's running a whole lot of high. He's running a whole lot of high post plays
Yeah.
for Embiid, where he has the ball in the high post and he's the one that's orchestrating the offense, right? So he's hitting guys off on the move, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, there's a certain amount of players in the league um, that really that are it's like poetry in motion watching them play.
Mm.
And you know, Durrell, you really touched on a lot of those points. You know, the way that he's able to move the ball, the way he's able to bait those defenders, you know, and draw fouls, the way he's able to use his body and his footwork. It's all just so beautiful, and we're seeing a player at the top of his game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just scary to see him just improve year after year. Like you said, Kofi, he's just in every category. He's just going up.
Mm-hmm.
He just seems to be continue to get better and better. And Nikola Jokic is that one of those other players that I believe is like watching poetry in motion as well, as far as,
Yeah.
you know, playing the game of basketball. So if it were up to me right now, I got the Joker at number 1,
Ooh.
and then I got Nikola Jokic at number 2. But I would take Embiid as of right now. And again, we're only a third, maybe just over a third way through the season. So I'm feeling if the season were to end today, I would take Embiid.
Yeah,
So I got Embiid. Durrell, you got who? You said Embiid too, right?
Embiid for sure, for sure. Right now,
Embiid and Kofi Embiid. So it's 3-0 Embiid.
Absolutely.
yeah, but and also another player that's getting overlooked right now for the MVP candidacy, man, it's Luca. Luca has been balling this year,
Yep.
dude. Guy has been
Yeah.
balling. But then it's like Jokic has been balling, Embiid has been balling.
SGA.
Giannis,
Yeah.
SGA is like
Yeah.
the league is in such good hands that there's so many great players getting overlooked for their performance. Like Jokic,
Definitely.
Doncic, man, it's just so unfortunate.
That's just a testament to Embiid's game, though. The fact that we have so many amazing players in the league, but he's the one that sticks out like that.
Mhm.
It just goes to show, like, that he's just really doing something special this year.
And also Giannis, I think he's always getting overlooked. We have a Giannis problem, man, because like he's such an amazing player. Just even the game the other night against the Spurs,
Mm.
the fact that he was the one that closed out that game.
True.
This guy hit
Yeah, he dropped 44 and 17 in that game, right?
44 and 17
Yeah.
in crunch time. He hit
Yeah.
2 clutch tray balls.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
that was extremely impressive to me. And also to the fact that shout out to Wemby. He held his own against Giannis. But the fact that Giannis was able to just close out that game was a test. Because usually Dame is a closer, but Giannis is like, nah, man, you know what? Wemby, let me show you exactly what is in store for the next however long you'll be in the NBA.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the star players of all those teams that we mentioned, their teams are doing really well, but a team that has another one of those star players that should be spoken about for MVP, at least be in the MVP conversation, is Anthony Davis. But his team is struggling mightily. So I want you guys to talk to me about the struggling Lakers. They're 3-10 since the in-season tournament.
Mhm.
So my question to you guys is it time to panic?
It is. It is. Right, because they're still way too dependent on LeBron. LeBron is my guy just turned 39 in late December there. Anthony Davis, he's way too inconsistent.
Anthony Davis. This year, though, he's going crazy.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going crazy, but he's
Crazy.
he's still inconsistent, right? As well as apart from LeBron, Anthony Davis, who else is going to take that next step? Austin Reeves, he's just overrated. he's good,
Yeah.
but he's like the fifth man up. There needs to be it's Anthony Davis, LeBron James. They need to make a move right now. I think right now it's time for them to make a move for like a Siakam, for an Austin Reeves. They need help because you guys have a guy like Jared Vanderbilt. Like, what does he do out there? Cool, he plays defense, but when he's a liability.
No shade to Jared Vanderbilt. You're a good player, bro, but I'm with Durrell on this.
He's a liability. It's like they need to make a move because right now they're starting 5. What is it? It's D'Lo, LeBron, AD. Who else? Who else is in the starting 5?
You know what hurts?
Prince.
What hurts is no Gabe Vincent. I find like that definitely hits their depth quite a bit. But Durrell, you know, I I can't agree enough. They need basically what I'm getting from what you're saying is they need a third option, like a
They need
solidified third option. They need it.
They need a third option as well as they need a center because we've seen that Anthony Davis, he is the best when he's playing the power forward position. Like so, a couple of years ago in the bubble when they won the NBA championship, they had they had Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
And you had AD now having full range to just display his skill set. Right, AD is one of the top skilled big men in the league. So right now he's
Yep.
not being able to do so, and also like giving AD the the primary the primary defensive role is too much because you need your role player to be energized when it comes crunch time. All right, so they just need. I think they need another defensive big, whoever it is that they can get as well as a third option.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Kofi. How you feel, bro? Time to panic?
Yeah, Durrel, you're spot on. Like I feel like everyone on the Lakers except for AD and LeBron is the problem at this point. At this point, because AD's been playing phenomenal. AD's been playing out of his mind. Because AD's been playing out of his mind. LeBron has been playing really good for a 39-year-old.
Amazing for a 39-year-old.
Amazing.
Right? Like Vanderbilt, after he came back from his injury, he has not been playing that great. D'Lo, if I'm not mistaken, did he get pushed to the bench for a bit too? Even if I'm not mistaken,
I can't recall.
Okay. Yeah, he's D'Lo's not playing that great either. He should be the third option, but he's not. He hasn't lived up to that expectation. Yeah, like at this point, I feel like everyone except their two core guys are pretty much the problem on that team because Reeves, like you said, Durrel, he's beyond overrated. He's not.
Say beyond. You got to put some respect on my boy Reeves' name, man.
No, he's overrated. I'm sorry. Like
you said extremely though.
You got Cam Reddish, Austin Reeves. Oh,
yeah. The shooting. The problem is the shooting guard depth. Yeah. Like I think honestly, if they got DeJounte Murray, oh boy, that'd be nice. That'd be looking a lot.
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
That'd be looking a lot better. They need that defense
as well as a big Christian Wood is not it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He's not the same anymore. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
You go from like a first team all defender in the starting lineup at the center position in AD, and then you go to Christian Wood, who's like a non-defender, bro. Like he's just not it.
Dude, it's atrocious.
It's tough. You know, all the guys that you mentioned. Yeah, like there's a lot of holes. Like honestly, even with Cam Reddish, I thought like he started the year for the Lakers, and I was like, hey, this looks like a little bit of a resurgence from him. But even within his last few games, like he's really dwindled off. That hurts. Gabe Vincent, obviously not having him hurts. I think D'Angelo Russell has been out for the last few games, so that attributes to a lot of their struggles as well. But I think honestly, just a lack of more players with a defensive identity, more two-way players, I'll say. I don't want to say just defenders because they have that in Vanderbilt and some other guys, but you need players that can do both, and they need a solid third option. Like they need a guy where it's like, okay, Braun, he's kind of out of gas. AD maybe he's a little bit hobbled, not playing his best this game. They need a third guy that can come through and actually provide that spark. And it can't be like a Reeves, and throw some respect on my boy Reeves. He's nice, but it can't be Reeves. At the end of the day, your third option, like if you're trying to contend, it can't be Austin Reeves at the end of the day. And it can't be D'Lo because D'Lo, when I think about Brooklyn D'Lo and I think about the D'Lo of today, it's obviously a very different D'Lo.
Yeah.
So there needs to be some now. So we're in alignment here. I agree with you guys. There needs some needs to happen.
And also
some
to
needs
that
to
point,
change.
even Brooklyn D'Lo was a defensive liability. As great that he was offensively, defensively, he couldn't keep a freaking pylon in front of him.
that's for sure. Oh man, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. Any last thoughts about that take, guys?
Yeah, I think right now it is go time for the Lakers. It is go time for LeBron. But shout out to LeBron, even though I'm a Kobe guy. Sometimes you still got to give a shout out to LeBron, especially my guy's averaging 25 at 39, which is ridiculous. I believe he's averaging approximately over 35 minutes a game still, and that should not be. LeBron should not be averaging over 30 minutes a game. All right, and that has to be on AD.
Mm.
Yep.
You know, that has to be on AD. It has to be on the entire Lakers organization to make sure that LeBron is well rested when it comes to playoff time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. They definitely got some questions to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so initially we were all in the beginning of the season. We were like, okay, Victor Wembanyama, the surefire
Mm-hmm.
rookie of the year. He's taking it. Chet, brush him off. Whoever else we got in the draft, Scoot, Brandon Miller, brush him off. But now it's not so clear because Chet Holmgren has kind of come up as that guy who's actually a lot of people have as the favorite to
Yeah.
win the Rookie of the Year. So we got Wemby, Chet, one variation of those two for 1 and 2. My question to you guys is, who is the third best rookie so far this year? Talk to me.
Yeah, Jamie Juarez Jr. He's looking
Yes, sir.
amazing. He's looking amazing. So one thing that sold me was a couple nights ago. I saw a highlight of him on the post on LeBron James. Did a turnaround fade on LeBron. I was like, come on, that was beautiful, especially
Nice.
especially as a rookie. Secondly, the confidence level to attack LeBron in the post. LeBron is no slouch in the post. The fact that he was able to take on LeBron in the post and did that turn on fader on LeBron and it hit it in LeBron's face, I was like, you know what, this kid is next up. Right. So
Mhm.
once again, shout out to Miami and to their talent acquisition team and their scouts being able to truly scout a talent like Jamie, because that's something that I never would have saw. Right. So obviously when he came, so obviously this year coming into this year, it would have been Chet, Wemby, Scoot Henderson,
Probably Scoot, yeah,
as well as uh, Miller, right? Jamie had he was not even in the conversation. As well as if you
at all.
let's take a couple step back, couple of months ago when Dame requested a trade, right? So Miami, they were extremely hesitant to add Jamie in that package,
Mm.
right? But then again, the Portland Trailblazers was like, you know what? We don't want a package of Jamie, Hero, as well as additional, I think Kyle Lowry. But then I'm thinking, you guys kind of, I would have taken that package over the package that they got from Phoenix, like DeAndre
Mm.
Ayton. I do not want. I'll take Warriors over Ayton any single freaking day.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, looking at it now, of course, but back then we didn't know. You feel what I'm saying? We didn't know what Jaime Jaquez was gonna bring,
Mm-hmm.
and clearly he's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
He's that player. He's
Mm-hmm.
that guy. Kofi, talk to me. How you feel about who's your third favorite?
I fully agree with Durrell. Like, man, he's been playing phenomenal, and I think the fact that he's been put into the Heat culture fits him perfectly. Him having Jimmy as kind of his mentor there, with Spo as well, was perfect for him. I feel like if he was on another team, he may have not have flourished to this degree. So I feel like the fact that he was drafted to the Heat, or he plays for the Heat, is what has flourished his game. Because, man, he's definitely, in my opinion, he's a clear three. He's a clear third for sure. Just
Okay.
because he has such a great offensive game, he could shoot from wherever he wants. And like you said, Durrell, like when he did that post up against LeBron, that was beauty, man.
It was
That was beautiful. Most rookies can't do that, and like he does that every single game. He's phenomenal. Hits that three, scores wherever he wants, and he gets those steals as well. So I love how he's becoming slowly a great two-way player.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I agree with you guys completely. Like the mixture of his defensive toughness, basketball IQ, his ability to get to the rim strong, and he also can like hit the open shot. That's been a godsend, honestly, for this Heat organization because when you look at who didn't return from last year, key guys in the cog, in the the in the immersed within the Miami Heat culture that was really making that thing go, like Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. I was a little worried for Miami coming in. I was like, I know, or like one of our early podcasts before Jaime started to take shape, I was kind of like, the Heat, I don't know, like I wasn't really too high on them, but honestly, he's done so much for this Heat squad, and I'm so impressed with what he's brought on both sides of the ball. He looks super poised, and you know what? Honestly, that's why I really like these 4-year college players that come into the NBA, is because they are a little bit more developed, and the Heat recognizes that, and that's also something that the Heat, the Heat organization and the Heat culture like pushes towards, is like, we want guys NBA ready that can contribute now. You know, they're not big on like, okay, let's just get like a project and work on him for years and years. Like Jaime's already there and he's gonna get better, which is so amazing. But guys, I just I'm sort of shedding a tear here because what do you
I know what you're about to say.
the real yeah, man. The third option, the third best rookie this year, far and away in the beginning of the year was Ausar Thompson. And where has Broski gone?
He's gone. He's gone.
Talk to me about that, guys. Talk to me about Ausar Thompson, him being benched now. Obviously, Bogdanovich came back from injuries, and he hasn't looked the same. He hasn't gotten the opportunity. I'm just we got to talk about that a little bit because I'm just so beside myself with that.
We know what it is, especially with Detroit. Just the way that they've been playing. Obviously, at the start of the season, they looked promising. Right, they started off the season 2-1, and then obviously they went on that 27-game losing streak. Right, so obviously, losing takes a toll on you. Right, especially as a rookie.
Yes.
Trying to understand the NBA, and then secondly, trying to develop your game. But you're trying to develop your game, and you're losing. So obviously, then at a point in time, you're thinking like, obviously, what I'm doing right now is not working. All right, so obviously that's going to take a toll on you, and then secondly, getting benched, it's just tough. But I think he's uber athletic, right? Defensively, he's one of the best. He's one of the best defensive players right now in the rookie class.
So he's already, I think, one of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's just unfortunate that he's been for Detroit.
Yeah, definitely. Kofi, how do you feel about Ausar Thompson, man? I know you're a bit. I know you, bro. Okay, listen, my people out there, right? So Kofi and I made a trade on our fantasy teams. He gave me Ausar Thompson.
Jeez.
When Ausar Thompson was balling and when he wasn't benched and all that, I got him. I thought I got a future stud, and I know he could still be a future stud. But as for this fantasy, as for this year fantasy, I think Ausar Thompson is kind of a lost cause.
Yeah, Ausar, man. He honestly, out of all the players this year, by far the one where I feel bad for the most, and it's not even close because man, he averaged before he got benched. He averaged more than 2 blocks a game. He averaged more than 2 steals a game. Like he was phenomenal defensively. He averaged, I believe, a little over 10 rebounds a game as well.
Yeah,
which is crazy for a shooting guard, small forward. Yeah, and a rookie. Like that's insanity. Like his only real flaw, honestly, was his shooting.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to eventually throw a better jump shot and just develop a better jump shot. But man, like it's terrible because he was a great defensive player, and most people in the NBA cannot be that great when it comes to steals and blocks. And if you look at him on an overview throughout the whole NBA, he honestly could have been, if he kept that up, he could have been the first defensive player of the year that's a rookie, in my opinion. Because no player, man, has that many rebounds a game, that many steals, and that many blocks. Who has ever done that as a rookie?
Wembanyama.
Like, pardon?
Wemby.
Not steals, though. Not steals.
Yeah, blocks. But also another thing with Ausar Thompson that just is very unfortunate is that he doesn't. To your point, Kofi, he doesn't have a consistent jump shot as well as his shot creating ability. Is light years behind his brothers.
Yeah.
So, like a man, when you watch a man's game, it's just like, oh my gosh, if Ausar had like just even a half of that drip offensively, he would have been freaking amazing, bro. All right, so it's like they're both of them athletically, they're amazing. But then just a man is just a step ahead of him, right? And additionally, just that system right now in New York, in Detroit, is not working. It's not working for him because once again, if he was like, let's say the Raptors system, I think Raptors would develop him so much better. I just believe the Raptors training staff, just the way they're able to develop talent, is one of the best in the system, and so one of the best in the in the NBA.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? Ausar Thompson had a great momentum, right, when he came into the league, and he was averaging these high block numbers, shutting down some of the biggest stars of the league. You know, not even 20 games into his NBA season. You know, crazy steals, crazy blocks, just all over the place defensively, hands at the passing lanes, switching. You know, great help defender, all that good stuff. And you know, it just brings me to a point that I just briefly want to bring up. So the NBA is a business, right? And we understand this, guys, as frequent watchers of the NBA. And we know that because Bojan Bogdanovic is, a veteran, and more so that he's being paid X amount of dollars by the Detroit Pistons organization, we knew that he was going to come in and slot in, in Ausar's position, which is unfortunate for a guy like Ausar, because we saw what he could bring, and we know it's there. But even when you look at his minutes, like, he doesn't even have the minutes to really capitalize and do what he did before. Like, he was playing like 35 plus minutes a game in the beginning of the season, and now he's like, a lot of nights he's under 20. So he doesn't even have, he's a rookie. He needs that run. So, it's unfortunate through and through. But Kofi, I got one last thing to say to you, broski. You want to reverse the trade? Can you take Ausar back, and I'll take Brandon Mitchell, and I'll take Donovan Mitchell back from you, bro.
You gave up Don Mitch for Ausar Thompson?
No, not just for him. Yo, what was the trade, Kofi? What was the trade? It was
thinking about it now. I think it was Mitchell, Naz Reid, and Brendan Miller.
Yeah, that's who I gave you.
Thompson,
Yeah,
Michael Bridges, and Cole Anthony.
That was it.
Got fleeced, my guy.
But broski, you saw the way that Ausar was playing, though.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, man, when we did the trade, though, Ausar was at his peak.
Oh,
so,
you gave me your third pick swap from next year.
Yes, so he also has my third pick swap, and I have his sixth.
Not bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was, at the time, it was pretty fair. But then, man, Ausar just stopped playing, unfortunately.
Man, he's averaged like 2 points the last couple of games. Like,
shooting like
the stocks aren't the same. Oh man, I'm upset. So let's move into the next thing, guys. So now that we're talking about the Pistons, what do you think the Pistons record would be, right? Like, so fast forward to the end of the season, what do you think the Pistons record is going to be?
Damn.
I think he's gonna have 3 wins right now, right?
Yeah.
I think they're gonna stay somewhere between 12 to 15 games, like one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be somewhere around there, because I'm pretty sure they already have like a 4-game or 5-game losing streak again.
Yeah.
Like, it's trying to build momentum. So I think they're gonna only win like 12 to 15 or something. Like, personally, yeah. I can't see them winning more than 15 games.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
how do you feel, Durrel?
I said they finished with like a 7-75 record.
No, really?
Yeah, dude. I just don't see them winning I don't see them winning anything relatively close to 10 games out of the season. They just, when you watch that team play, they're just freaking horrendous. Yeah. Dude, if it's Kate or nothing, bro.
It's such sloppy basketball, you're right?
Dude, Jaden Ivey hasn't taken that leap. Ausar Thompson is garbage. Bogdanovic, who you would hope would be that veteran leadership that would keep everything, together. He is not being that true veteran leadership that the team truly needs. Jalen Duren, he's good, but he's still young. He still makes some bonehead mistakes out there. I was watching one of the Detroit games. I can't remember exactly who that they were playing, but just Jalen Duren, there are times defensively, he just looks lost. He looks completely lost out there. He's missing switches. He's not being able to switch. He's obviously he's a physical specimen as well. Killian Hayes is freaking garbage. Jonathan Stewart, garbage. They just don't have enough talent. They have a lot of young assets, but in terms of their talent, I just think that some of these guys have already hit their ceiling. Apart from
who hit their ceiling?
Jaden Ivey, I believe, has already hit his ceiling. To be honest,
bro,
I just don't see 21. It. I just don't see it. Wow. From the eye test alone, I don't believe he'll ever be a consistent enough shooter. Same thing with Jalen Duren. He's good.
You don't like Duren, broski?
I like him, but obviously when he came into the league, I was hoping he's going to be like a Bam-esque type of player. But Bam was light years ahead of Jalen Duren at this point in Jalen Durant's career, right? But the only player that I have high hopes for is James Wiseman. Get out of town. You name it, bro. They just don't have enough talent on the court at all times. Like every team that they go up against, they will be that every team has way more talent than they do. The only player that is next level is Cade Cunningham. Apart from
Mm.
Cade Cunningham, name me another player that is apart from Bogdanovich. Name me another player that you believe can go out there and get you a 20-point piece
Yo,
efficiently.
give Jalen Durant time, bro. He's
Yeah.
gonna be a problem. He's only 20, bro. Like he's born in like 03 or something. Like he's just 20. He's like November 2003 is when he was born. So bro, he just turned 20. So I think like, bro, he could be a problem. Like maybe obviously maybe not this year, but he's gonna be an issue in this league. I strongly believe that.
Yeah, he's.
So I give him like
I
4
don't see
years.
it. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Wow.
I don't see it.
Wow.
Remember, he plays for Detroit, man. Like I feel like if he had a better situation, like if he had a better situation, I feel like he would have been like I don't know, like he plays for Detroit.
Yeah, but
Damn.
Cade also plays for Detroit. You can use that as an excuse because Cade is going out there and performing each and every single night, right? But
That's true. Yeah.
there's certain players I just believe that it's either you have it or you don't, man. There's some players that you are either a role player or a star player. There's no in between, right? So unless you go to a team that truly develops you into that star player that they need. I just don't think Detroit have that talent or the coaching staff to develop Jalen.
Oh man. Yeah, but like okay, I agree with that. Maybe they wouldn't maximize his potential necessarily, but I think he definitely has the opportunity to. I think he has, ever since. So another thing to keep into consideration why, like a big reason why Detroit's had this terrible losing skid. They're 3-32 is because they've been missing Bogdanovich and Duran. And Duran, as much as Durrell, you might not be so high on him. He's a good player. He's a good player. He showcased that.
Yeah,
like,
100%. He's a good
yeah,
player. Amazing
he
player.
showcased that the whole year one, his whole first year. He's come back and he's looked pretty solid, like reminiscent of last year so far in the few games that he's been back. So that you pair it with Bogdanovich coming back. I think I'm a little more optimistic than you guys. I think they could pull away maybe a 2, maybe a 3-game win streak. It's a long season. Like I understand right now it looks bleak. You know what I mean? Memphis bleak, but we're gonna say Detroit bleak. It looks bad. It looks real bad. But at the end of the day, it's a long season. The teams will go through their own lulls and things like that. There's injuries that can happen to other rosters. I don't think, Broski, you said 7-75? Like they're gonna win 4 more games across like how many more games? Like 40-some games?
7-75, man. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Every team that they go up against just have way more talent than they do. I just don't see it. They just don't have enough talent to give me enough confidence to say that they win. That they win seven more games to get to 10 at the end of the season.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. I respect it. Like for me, honestly, I'm thinking. I'll say like on the low end, and I know you guys won't agree. I'll say like 16-64. That's like what we'll end with. That's not that bad. That's 13. That's 13 more wins across like 50 games or like 47 more games. You know what I mean? 13 more wins. You're telling me they can't like they do have a couple vets. They're not completely hopeless. Looks like it, but I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
No, I can see that.
Yeah. So I got 16
Yeah.
and what? 64, right? Would be 82, yeah. And then Durrell has 7-75. What do you have, Kofi?
I think they're gonna win at most 15.
Jeez. But shout out to Monty Williams though. Like my guy fleeced the Detroit Pistons. Yo, my guy had a couple of winning. So Chris Paul, shout out to Chris Paul as well, because without Chris Paul, Monty Williams would not have gotten this contract that he got with Detroit.
It's funny how the NBA moves sometimes, man.
It's like smokes, my guy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Guy.
Yeah. So let's move on. Let's move on to another team in the Western Conference, though. That's also had a rough go. Definitely one of the bottom feeders of the Western Conference, but they're not nearly as hopeless, and that's the Memphis Grizzlies. So now that Jaw's back, obviously he served that I think 25 game suspension in the beginning of the year. He's came back. He hasn't missed a beat. Do you guys think that the Memphis Grizzlies will be able to make the playoffs?
Um, the West is a different beast, man. If they're in the East, I would say they get into the play-ins, but in the West, like they're just too far. They're just way too far gone, way too far gone. Just in terms of how many wins are they currently at right now? 12 wins. They are currently 5 games out from a playing position. So it's like that means they have to outplay the Lakers, Golden State, Houston, um, the pretty much towards the end of the season, as well as those other teams that I just named, also need to go on maybe like a 5 to 6 game losing streak for at least Memphis to catch them and to get into the play-ins. So obviously they are light years better than they were without Ja, but they've just lost way too many games, to keep them in just not even playoff contentions, play in contention.
But they're only 12 and 23 though. It's not like a Detroit situation.
Yeah, but
That's not.
but even so, right now they're the 13th seed in the West, right? So they're right
Mhm.
behind Utah, Lakers, Golden State, and Houston. So those are all
Yeah.
teams. Those are all teams fighting for play-ins. I believe that they may have a better finish. They may surpass Utah, but I don't believe that they may surpass Lakers and or Golden State. 'Cause I do believe Golden State has a move that they are, that they might be that they will be making within the next weeks or right before the trade deadline. I just
Mhm.
don't believe that. Like just in terms of talent, Memphis they have the talent to win games. But now we just did. You just need to hope that all those aforementioned teams also what go on a quick losing skid for that to happen. It is possible, but they just have gave up way too many games within the last like 25 games prior to Jazz arrival.
Give me a percentage. Like what's your percentage? What percentage you think they'll make it into the playoffs?
I think it's a slim chance. I would say about 25%,
25%.
25%
Okay.
for sure.
How you feel, Kofi?
Hmm. I agree with Durrell. Like I can't. The West is a different beast. He's right. Like I can't see them making it to the play-in. Even the play-in, I can't see them. Like on the West, it's hard to make the playoffs when you start at 6-19.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm.
it's difficult. Like I know Jaw's amazing, and Memphis overall, it's a really really good team. They're they're a lot more stacked than I feel like a lot of people think. They're really stacked, but like man, coming in the West being 6-19, I can't see them making it. Like
Mm.
I do feel like they have a I'd say like 30-35% chance, but I can't see them. I don't think they'll make it, and even in the play, personally.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think everything you guys said is correct. I mean, especially the fact that even though Jaw's been going crazy, and they look like they've kind of, they feel reinvigorated, obviously, and that's clear
Mm-hmm.
based off of their last few games. But I think just through and through, the West is tough, and I think losing Steven Adams actually hurts a lot more
Yeah.
than people give it credit for,
Mm-hmm.
because he's like, he may not be like the defensive player of the year in Jaren Jackson Jr.'s teammate, but he's an anchor. That guy is a brick wall. Like you and also Jaren Jackson Jr. is not a big who gobbles up rebounds at all. Like at
Yeah.
all. And rebounding is like one of their biggest issues. They're also missing Brandon Clark, and I think he's back like right after, like around like All-Star break, like just after All-Star break or something like that. So they're in desperate need of bigs who can rebound. Um and yeah, they definitely like, missing Dylan Brooks, the ability to stretch the floor, hit threes, be a defensive pest. He was a big glue guy, for that organization. So back to what you guys are saying about the West being too stacked, yeah, that, and in conjunction with some of the key injury slash, free agents that went left, and um John Morant being suspended for the 25 games, yeah, I wouldn't give them higher than if Ja turns into Tyrese Halliburton, maybe I'd say like a 40% chance, but it's probably closer to 30.
Oh,
I'll probably say 30.
so you believe Tyrese is better than Ja?
Tyrese is better than Ja for sure, Lee. I'll say that.
Damn. Okay.
Actually, I agree. I think so. Yeah.
Durrell, you don't. You think Ja's better?
I just think I just believe Halliburton's in a better system than Ja.
Okay.
I think
What do you mean by that?
just in terms of obviously right now that Indiana offense, the way that it's the way that it's that it has been put together, it obviously it's an all-time offense. Obviously, the head of that offense is Halliburton, but also you have to give their coach the coach props. He's the one that was able to develop that system for them to have that offense, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, Halliburton an amazing passer, but I just believe Ja is a more electric. He's a more electric player in my opinion. More electric and ja is more electric, but obviously Halliburton's a better player in my opinion as well. But I'll take Ja over Halliburton though. I'm just a Ja guy.
So if you were building your own franchise today, say, Durrell, I know you're a big Raptors guy. The Raptors were rebuilding today, and you were the GM, Durrell official, you, and they said, okay, who do you want? Ja Morant, Tyrese Halliburton. You're taking Ja Morant. Is that what I'm hearing?
Give me
It's tough, right?
yeah, I'll take. That's tough, man. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. If I want ticket sales, I'm taking Ja.
Okay, which might be something that MLSC, the Toronto Raptors do.
I'll take Ja.
I'll take Halliburton all day, every day because of this one fact. You don't see players with a basketball IQ, like the level of basketball IQ that he has, like almost ever. Like they're few and far between.
100%.
The way he's able to read the game, that alone is crazy. And another thing too is Ja Morant's dominance is based a lot on his athletic ability, which later into his career might not translate as smoothly.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Whereas Tyrese Halliburton, he's more of a facilitator, a shooter.
That's amazing stat. So last night you had about 10
Yeah.
points, 18 assists, which is like that's ridiculous. That's like essentially Rondo numbers. But sorry, man. Go ahead.
It's crazy. No, bro. You, Kofi. Who would you take? You take. I think I know who you take, but Kofi. I said about Kofi, but Halliburton or Ja.
Halliburton for sure. Like I don't know. He's just too efficient. He's way too efficient, and you hit around the nail. His basketball IQ it's insane. He's what was his last? He got like 20 something assists with 0 turnovers. Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like that's I don't think people realize how hard that is to do. Like he got, especially back to back. He got one game with 23 assists, 0 turnovers, and another game with like 21 or something.
All right.
Yeah.
So
that's insanity.
Yeah, you definitely got to give. My thing is give his teammates credits for hitting shots.
Oh, for sure.
Because you have Miles Turner, like this guy is. There'll be games. I'm just like, oh my, these guys are not missing. Their offense is so fluid.
Yeah.
They don't miss shots. Like I'll see Buddy Hield hit like 4 trays in a row from an Halliburton assist. I'll see Miles Turner hit like a couple of tray balls in a row. But don't get it twisted. There's some looks. There's some passes that Halliburton makes that just makes me bloom. That just blows my mind. Like hitting Miles Turner on a cut that I didn't even see. I didn't even see while watching the game, and he makes those passes, right? But obviously, got to give his teammates credit for hitting those open shots.
Yeah,
for sure. And one player I feel like on that team that really has shocked me, and it's really helped the Pacers for sure, is Toppin. He's actually having a career year for himself.
Yeah,
of course he's not. It's not like the second best player or anything on that team. Nor, but he's stepped up, and he's definitely helped the whole Pacers organization for sure.
Yeah, one thing that's one of the reasons why Toppin is flourishing in the offense, he is a fast break player, right?
Yeah.
So when he's off on the fast break, boom, you have a guy like Halliburton. As soon as he gets that ball, man, it's in Toppin's hand, bam, slam dunks. And also Toppin, one thing about that New York offense that was kind of hindering him, he didn't have a guy like a Halliburton that was hitting him on the cuts. Like when you watch that Indiana offense, it's a whole lot of direct handoff and cuts that highly hitting his players on, right? So the fact that he's an explosive player, you have such a high Q player in Halliburton who's able to see those backdoor cuts, throws the lob, top end catches it, boom, fast break, same thing. Halliburton has a ball, dishes it out to top end. It's a beautiful thing. It's amazing to play with such a selfless point guard, right? And that's something that the league is missing. And also with his ugly ass jump shot, it's ugly but it's working, right? And Halliburton, one of the
It's going in.
it's terrible, man. You watch that thing, it's like, dude. But it is what it is. It's effective. It's effective. As long as it's effective, that's all that matters, man.
I think it was Steve Kerr actually who was like, make sure not to change your jump shot or something, even though everyone was trying to switch his jump shot.
That's one thing I never truly understood about trainers, man. If something is working, why tweak it? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like at the end of the day, it's comfortable. It works. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
I agree. The only reason why I would see why trainers would try to fix it is if that player specifically that they're working with to change their form needs to be put into positions where they need to be able to get shots off quicker.
Yeah.
That's the only way I see, because if you're taking it from way down here and you're launching it, then, like, for example, a perfect example is someone who actually changed their jump shot and actually ended up working out perfectly, but it was kind of short-lived because he got injured, which is just devastating. Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
He changed that jumper and he started to hit all types of shots.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
with Lonzo's jump shot, it was coming from this angle, which was obviously
Yeah. That
rotation of
was
the
my
ball.
point.
Like with the rotation of the ball, like it was causing his shots to be completely inefficient. But with Halliburton, it's still like it's still a proper release point. A proper release point is just the gather to the shot is just hideous. Right?
Yeah,
But,
it looks a little awkward.
it's hideous, but it works, man. It works.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, for sure.
Yeah, facts.
So you guys are talking about Toppin there, and you were saying that he's kind of, he's kind of turned the corner with the Indiana Pacers, and now he's playing a lot better. Another player that's turned the corner is playing a lot better, and honestly, I kind of lost hope in him for a while, and I apologize. Honestly, I'll tell it to him if I see him. But Khris Middleton, the return of Khris Middleton, he's been looking real nice for the Milwaukee Bucks, and they need that other guy to step up outside of Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. They need that solid third option. All of the teams who aspire to be contenders need that third option. Khris Middleton, a return to form. Guys, talk to me about that.
I think it's just been healthy, man. He hasn't been healthy all year. Obviously, health is wealth. The fact that also not having as much pressure as he did in years prior is also letting him just work back into form, get back into form, right? Obviously now you have, because right now he can just be the third or fourth option, right? So when like last season he was the second option, so that's a whole lot of baggage that he has to carry, right? So now it's like he can work back into game form. So obviously Giannis can alleviate that stress. Dame can alleviate that stress. Even a guy like Beasley, my guy, I've never seen him shoot this well. Even last year when he wasn't with the Lakers, or a year or so ago when he was with the Lakers, like he was a shell of himself. This year, my guy is not missing from out there. You also have Brook Lopez, who in the latter part of his NBA career is still one of the best centers in the NBA. Right, so just being able to just come in and not being able to, and not having so much offensive or responsibility, and also not having the defense just zoning on you because you're the second option. But he has free range right now, and also he's healthy, which just makes the game so much more. It slows the game down and helps him just progress in a healthy manner.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely, absolutely, guys. Any closing thoughts before we wrap up here?
Closing thoughts, man. Yeah. So I just want to give a quick shout out, to Coach Monty Williams, you know what I'm saying, for fleecing the Detroit Pistons.
Yo, shout out to Monty. World class fleecing right there.
World class fleece, man. But
highest paid coach ever.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Highest paid coach ever just to win 7 games, man. That's just ridiculous.
Exactly.
But I'm excited. I'm excited to watch the Raptors this season, man. So now so one of the questions that you asked earlier, Moose, in terms of if the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be able to make it to the playoffs, I believe the Raptors are going to. They're going to be a force to reckon with when if Siakam does stay. If Siakam does stay, I do believe that they are able to make it to a play-in or even sneak into that 8th seed. If one of those teams that are currently, I believe it's Cleveland or so, or anyways, one of those teams that are currently in the 8th seed, going a couple game losing skid. I definitely think Raptors can make some noise.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. I second that motion. Emmanuel quickly, new starting PG, RJ Barrett, slot him in there. You got Barrett, Barnes, quickly, Siakam. Yeah, if Siakam stays, that's a pretty decent core. That could at least get you the 8th seed, I'd say.
100%, 100%. And
Yeah.
also, man, Scotty Barnes, all-star numbers
Scotty
this season.
Barnes.
All-star numbers this season, man. I'm
Yeah.
averaging 26 and 29 rebounds and 6 assists.
Yeah.
Dude, those are amazing numbers. Like those are all-star numbers. And also, damn, almost 40% from downtown.
Yeah.
I actually saw this stat the other day. Like, so he jumped from 26 or 28% from downtown to 38% from downtown. That 10% jump, that's the highest percentage players ever jumped from in 3-point shooting. So obviously he wasn't.
Really?
Yeah. So obviously
Wow.
he was in the lab this offseason working on that shot. So shout out to Scotty. Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully it makes the All-Star team, and it would be nice to see.
Yeah. No, definitely. I love to see him in there. The only way I see Scotty not making it personally is just because of the record of the Raptors.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if they take that into consideration a lot in making the decision, unfortunately I don't think he'll be in there. But who knows, man? Who knows if they could put on a little run before All-Star break and see what happens. Maybe the coaches will vote him in. It doesn't look. I don't think he was top 10 in the front court in the Eastern Conference, if I'm not mistaken, which is unfortunate, and he should be. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Kofi, any closing thoughts, my guy? Welcome again, guys. Make sure you go tap in with Kofi's content as well. Obviously, Durrel's too. Kofi, talk to me, bro.
Ooh, I just want to continue on that point with Scotty Barnes. I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you both. I do feel like he's an all-star for sure. But it will be extremely unfortunate if he doesn't make it due to him being on the Raptors and them not having a great record this year. Because he's easily a top 12 player in the East. So I'm hoping that they overlook that.
He's special.
Yep.
He's a special player. I was talking about Tyrese Halliburton earlier about him having an incredible basketball IQ. I think Scotty Barnes is another one of those players. Like as per young players, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but I'd say those two right now, just for how they see the floor, how they see the game, they're up there. I want to say for players under 25, they might be the top two. I know I'm forgetting. I know, like, I'm gonna look back and be like, oh, like I forgot about someone. But just off the top of my head, like, those guys really stand out in how they read the game.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we'll appreciate you guys for tuning in. Episode 5 of Franchise Players Podcast coming to a close here. Make sure you guys go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, tap in with us. Let us know what you want us to talk about on the next pod. Guys, any last things you want to say? Where can the people check you out?
Yeah, check me out on Durrel Official on all platforms: Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok. Durrel Official, baby.
Okay. You can find me on all platforms as well at Rim Rhetoric.
That's beautiful. Love to hear it, fellas. Make sure you enjoy your Saturday night, whatever it is you do end up getting up to. Let's go ahead and tap in soon, guys. Really appreciate the love and support. We out of here. Peace.